No interest.
What do you think about that game?
I'm excited. It's a big game. It's in Philly. I told my son, I said, keep his head down when he's walking around the stadium. Don't wear red. Get up to the booth as soon as you can. Hurry back down to the locker room after the game.
It's good advice.
Yeah.
Good advice. How are you guys just feeling after kind of last night? I know they're the defending champs, but Kevin kind of kept some perspective and said, they're the second round, they're back-to-back, weren't looking like themselves. How do you kind of use that context coming into today?
No, every game is different, and we know how it is to play on a back-to-back. We've struggled on back-to-backs, especially with the pace of the league in today's game. It's a lot different than even 2 years ago. And having said all that, it was a good win. We did some things right. Obviously, there are things that we can, work on to clean up so that hopefully we're better next time around. But you always want to learn, not always, probably most of the time you want to learn through a win as opposed to a loss.
Yeah, the Rochester contribution last night was pretty all throughout really the rotation. How nice is that to see before you go into a game like, the in-season tournament where things might get a little anticipation and excitement?
Again, I've always felt that, whenever somebody's out or whatever, we've had the next guy step up and try to fill in as best he can. And so to be able to see, different guys step up and contribute to help us get wins is always a positive, but it's something that I feel that we have the ability to do, no matter what the circumstances. If somebody's out, we have guys that can step up. If your number's called, like Kessler's number was called in Minnesota, you have the ability to step up. So, it's always good to see that.
With the Pelicans, the last couple of games you played them, they did a number on you guys. Yeah. They like to pick up full court. That's what they did a lot on their long. How do you combat that? Because I know you guys want to play fast. How do you deal with that pressure they put on?
Well, we have plenty of guys that can handle the ball, and if there's somebody else to throw the ball up to and let them initiate the offense, go ahead and do it. We don't rely just on one guy to initiate our offense or to get our fast break going. We have multiple guys that can do it, but we have to get stops in order for that to work. And if that ball is going through the net for them at a clip of 55, 60%, then it's going to be a little harder to get out and run, especially with the way that they play and the length and the athletes that they have with Jones and Daniels in particular.
And then, that second game you guys played, you made a nice run to get back in the game at the end. Were there any positives that you could take from that, how that game ended, and kind of apply them to this matchup?
Yeah, well, even in the losses, yeah. I'm a firm. I apologize. Sanitize this, man. Sanitize it. I'm sorry. I didn't say that. That was not me. But even in losses, you could try to find things to help you win. So, we feel like we're capable of beating any team in this league. Just like I'm sure every other team feels the same. But we feel like we have a legit shot at it. We didn't play our best basketball, and they got the best of us. Zion was a handful, England was a handful, and so now we have to try to go and see if we can put a game a little closer to 48 minutes than what we did those two games.
Jokic still got his last night, but I thought you guys did a lot of good little things on the defensive end. Is there anything that you're going to be carrying from last night's game into Monday's game against Zion or the rest of the team?
Well, like I said, every game you learn a little something, and we Jokic was a multi-time MVP, and so we threw some things at him, and and when we double teamed him, it allowed us to quote unquote work on our rotations. Obviously, it's no secret we're going to have to double team Zion probably, and so double teaming somebody, getting a chance to work on your rotations and all that other stuff, and trying to clean up your double team situations always can help going forward, especially if you're about to face another guy that you may have to double in Zion.
Zion looked kind of like what you remembered when he first came into the league. Is he kind of back to that form again?
He's a heck of a player, man. He's fast, he's big, he's strong. He can handle the ball. Everybody knows exactly what he's going to do, but it's still hard to slow down and or stop it. So, he gave us fits. Hopefully we can do a little bit better job on him to make him work a little harder than what he did these last couple of games.
You know, the opponents that you guys have faced, we frequently talk about length and physicality, and obviously it can be a bugaboo for you guys. Where do they kind of rank in some of the opponents that you faced when it comes to that department?
Well, they're up there. They have a true big and Valanciunas, so they got a 7-footer that's long that is in that paint protecting the rim, and then they have long athletes on the wing, with Daniels and Herb Jones. They got a couple other guys too, and they've got Murphy's out in 6'10" or 6'11", whatever it is. So they have a long team, and a lot of teams are going that direction because especially the last NBA champions and the Nuggets, that length came into play quite a bit in their championship run, and so teams are trying to follow their lead, and anytime you have a length like that that's versatile and quick and athletic, it bodes well for a good defensive team.
You've used examples of things that could get your guys motivated for an in-season tournament. Do you feel like you still have to kind of show examples of what that money can get, or do you feel this kind of brings its own weight to it, that they'll be up for it?
No, and the whole time we feel like our guys, we feel like our guys are motivated. They're self-motivated. We show those things just more for fun or anything else. I think the last game was against Golden State, and like I said, none of our guys gonna want to buy a Harley except for me.
Right.
And so they showed how many Harleys they could buy, how many Street Glide specials they could buy. And I already got one, but so I got a little excited. And I was like, "Hey, y'all better play! Give me another one." Shoot, but it's more to kind of bring awareness to it than anything else, and try to let them know that this is a little different than a regular season game.